Christina.
I'm Christina, and we're the Gorgeous Geeks. And a couple years ago, there's this thing in the Marvel Universe called the Civil War. It was very huge, and it was just mind-blowing. And when...
Poster's right behind us, by the way.
Yeah.
I have the t-shirt.
Okay. And so when Spider-Man revealed his secret identity to the world, that was like the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
And that was just book number 2, and everyone's like,
OMG.
Oh, OMG. And so I remember watching a video with San Diego Comic-Con, and someone's talking to Joe Quesada, like, well, I guess, you know, it's gonna be mind wiped or something like that. And he's like, no. There will be no takebacks. And we are here today
to give him a Star Wars Avenge of the Sith, Episode 3. Anakin Skywalker's liar! Liar! Oh my gosh. I had to take a deep breath to do the liar properly, and you laughed at me.
It was this long pause. It was really long. But yeah!
Liar! Liar! Oh my goodness. He lied to us all.
Yeah, because I just don't know how this all was panned out or planned it or whatever, but...
I don't think it was really planned that much.
Because
I think once the books get a different writer, it's just like, there are no rules.
But he's the editor-in-chief.
There are no rules.
He's the editor-in-chief and the writer that did One More Day, because that's really a big thing about this rant, is,
Michael Straczynski?
Yeah, he didn't even want... I heard he didn't even want to put his name on the last book. But you know that this is what they wanted. They wanted a clean slate with Spider-Man. They wanted to be fun and broke and dating again. And, okay, I could talk about One More Day forever. I seriously could. I despise that book. I absolutely despise it. It was one of the worst things ever that I've ever read from
I have not read a Spider-Man comic book since. I mean, I've glimpsed at them, but I have not bought one.
We have not purchased a
Spider-Man book. We've not purchased a Spider-Man book.
And it was cheesy. Their dialogue, and they were like, "I know my heart hurts, Peter.
It was like
we'll be together again." And
it was like a cheesy Twilight Zone episode. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
And Aunt May wouldn't have wanted Peter to sell his marriage to the devil.
This is stupid.
Why would you make a deal? The dude who his motto, his line is, with great power comes great responsibility. He does something so irresponsible by making a deal with the devil. And I'm sorry. I just think Mephisto has better things to do, like making Black Panther not be able to take off his pants.
It wasn't Black Panther, but you know what's happening in the book to another guy. But anyways,
like that is more important than taking away Spider-Man's marriage. Like I would have rather seen she's dead. No, she's not really dead art than that crap that they wrote. It was utter complete crap. And I can't believe that he saw, like, they showed a little girl and they're like, oh no, who's the little girl? They thought about it after they made the deal. Like, I can't believe it didn't even register in their brain that could have been their daughter. And it was dumb. It was just a mandate, and it's something
I thought it was out of character for Peter Parker.
You could have thought of something more clever than deal with the devil than that. And then it's like, well, I don't want your soul because you'd be in hell happy-ish because you saved someone, and that's kind of annoying. Oh, please! He's the devil! I'm stupid! And so the deal is, everyone forgets that Peter Parker was Spider-Man as well. And it was also bring back Harry Osborn. I don't know how that happened, but...
I was curious what they were going to follow with after that greasy Jesus showed up. Like, he was like...
Yeah!
He was like...
If Jesus taught you, just have faith. Why?
He was a greasy...
Okay, but the point is, he knew it was God. Like, why would you make a deal with Mephisto in the next like Spider-Man book that came out? He made a deal with Mephisto.
Cheesy Twilight Zone episode.
It was bad. It was the dumbest.
All it was missing was a guy in the corner,
it was absolutely terrible.
smoking a cigarette.
It was absolutely terrible. Just so bad. And so the deal was, okay, bring back Harry. I don't know, that just kind of happened. And everybody forgot that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. And it was like, he revealed himself, but no one remembers. Or something like that. So, I don't know. Was it ever clearly defined? Was that completely explained? But
he said no take-backs. He said no take-backs.
No
everybody knew
take-backs.
that was the biggest thing. Everybody knew that
thing
Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
That was the most climactic change in the whole entire thing. That was the moment of this. It was the moment.
It was. That was a huge. That was the big. This is one of the
We're
biggest
talking
things.
about it.
Everyone was talking about it. The only thing that topped that in the Civil War was when it was over and Captain America died. That was the craziest thing. And then he takes it back like, he revealed himself against the new Avengers like, oh, you're Peter Parker. Oh, you've already done this before. You know, he said no take-backs. I'm such a liar. You know, and then, oh my goodness, Tony Stark.
Yeah, Tony Stark. Like there wasn't something as drastic as the One More Day thing, but well, kind of ish, because his arc with the whole Most Wanted, he had everything downloaded in his brain or whatever, and he needed to take it out, and so it was making him dumber, and eventually became brain dead. And so he had this plan or whatever, and his friends gathered together, and they brought him back, and he had this hard drive, and I don't know, he was getting sloppy or whatever, so he didn't think to complete, because you have the computer, you have to keep, having these backup files, so every time you do something new, you don't want that new thing to be gone. Well, he didn't think to do that, so, because I guess he was so cocky and arrogant, he just thought he was above that. So he got his backup hard drive of his brain reinstalled, and the point where it's reinstalled from is before Captain America died. So he doesn't remember. And even if he watches something, all of his memories are kind of like he wasn't there, he's just watching it. It doesn't feel like he lived them, which is weird. And maybe you can have sympathy for him. I felt sympathy for him that entire arc, but at that point, I'm kind of like, hold up. Everything you did to your friends.
Gone.
And everybody's like, oh, Tony.
He forgot.
Tony can't feel these terrible things. He just saw them. They're just in his brain.
And you said no take that. And like he was like the main problem. And
so, he had when him and Thor, when Thor came back and they had their blowout and he beat the crap out of him basically and was like, dude, you're just a man in a metal suit. I'm freaking the God of Thunder. Boom! And so, I mean, and he cloned Thor in the Civil War, and
Bill Foster died.
Thor just thought that was just absolutely, an abomination. And so, next Thor after Siege, no, it was the next Iron Man after Siege. Thor's like, well, we'll settle up later, but you know what? Take some of my money. I want to help you. It's like, I understand Thor feels indebted to kind of everybody for helping him with the whole Asgard situation and the siege, but it's like, no, Tony did what he thought he was best, and he flat out told everybody, like, I thought I did what was best for everybody, and I don't apologize. You cannot like it, but I'm not apologizing for it. And so everybody kind of took like, well, that's Tony.
That's Tony. That's Tony.
That's Tony. As long as you pay me on the new two Avengers, I'm fine. I don't know. Well, he's broke. I don't even know what they're gonna do now. But
it's just you said no takebacks.
You said it's supposed to be no takebacks, and I understand you had all this stuff and you want to do a clean slate, but this is craziness.
It is, and so I don't know, Joe. It's just wrong. It wouldn't have been wrong if you wouldn't have said it. You said no take back.
Because we expect things. People would bump their head, get amnesia. I mean, we watch Smallville for crying out loud.
People get cloned. They get reborn.
You think they're dead.
Their consciousness gets moved to another body, so they get two consciousnesses.
Someone
inside
creates
the
a
body.
Pocket universe. Tony goes evil. You get a new teenage Tony, and
things happen.
Things happen.
We understand.
It's a comic book. These
But when
crazy
you
things
say-
happen.
But when the editor-in-chief says no take-backs, it's supposed to
It
mean
means
something. You know, and the biggest thing that you... Like, Bill Foster coming back to life, I could have understood that, you know. That was a really big grave, by the way. It was huge. It was huge. Like, it took up all the property. Yeah, it was huge. And so, you know, but the one more day thing, and I still don't understand why you had to make everybody, you know, forget. I mean, that was a huge thing.
It was a huge thing. It was like this Spider-Man had all this progress. There was these new powers. There was this thing where this darkness when he's gonna go. He said he was gonna kill the Kingpin, and you know, it just everything went backwards. Like his life was like it's such a high during the New Avengers. He was working for Tony, and it was just at such a high. And then the Civil War happened, and everything was just terrible. But you know, people.
But his character progressed.
Yeah, everything. Things happen, and you just have to deal with them. You can't erase it all the time.
Right. But his character.
And if you're going to
progressed
erase
so much.
it, well, don't tell us you're not going to erase it. But if you're going to erase it, don't do it later.
And if you're but here's another thing. Like, he took his powers away, which I don't understand, because then you would basically have to repeat the whole storyline again.
Yeah, I don't understand how the deal warped everything. It shouldn't have warped as much as it did.
I don't care what explanation you come up with. I thought that was absolutely, that was silly.
And I still don't see how Harry Osborn.
Who cares about Harry Osborn?
And I know they wanted to bring back Gwen Stacy, but that was pushing it.
It would have been more interesting.
And I despise the fact that Carol Danvers likes Spider-Man. He probably thinks it's cool, but I don't like Carol. I really don't.
You know, I mean, I had some people, actually a close friend of ours was saying how they didn't like Mary Jane with Peter Parker. But I'm just like, he's a superpowered being, she's a supermodel. You know, I think that's a really, match made in heaven. So I'm curious to see how these people think that Mary Jane's out of his league when he gets with, Miss Marvel. So it's just all weird. Mm-hmm. But our main problem is that you said no takebacks, and you lied.
You took it back.
You get the Anakin Skywalker turned Darth Vader liar trophy. You get that for lying to us. Well, tell us what you think. Tell us if you think we are just rabbit crazy fans for smashing Joe Quesada. But we're really not smashing it, we're just calling him out. We're calling things as though they were. As though they are. It's in the Bible. That's just what we're supposed to do. Anyways, I'm Katrina.
I'm Christina, and we're the Gorgeous Geeks.